Welcome everyone. This is a special Knowledge Seekers Energy teaching for August 11th, 2015 with Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. So without further ado, let's move right into Mr. Keshe's announcement and teaching today. I see a whiteboard or a blank slate to start with, Mr. Keshe. Are you there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, wherever you are, whenever you listen to us as usual. The reason I asked for this teaching very rapidly, which is unusual, out of our position, is the reality that we stopped, we got a background noise. Hello, are we better now? Yeah, okay, okay, we go ahead. The reason we have asked for this rapid session is we finished with, on Thursday of 2 weeks ago, more or less, with the development of the new technology with power and energy unit. Some people have seen the use of the beads, and some people have seen the use of the new spring setups which we have shown. In the process of past week, we have seen people who are trying to do these processes and they see difficulties or they don't understand the process. And I know we are off for another month. Instead of leaving it to come back in the teaching time to teach, as the coming Thursdays is allocated for the health section only, and it's rather important that these matters are cleared out very rapidly, that the development of the technology by people in respect to the energy and then following the energy with a lift can be smooth. I've seen a number of emails that people see like electric shocks, they see sparks, they see high release of energy through some of their systems they put together. It has to be understood, the technology, and you have to understand what you are doing and how you're proceeding with the manufacture of these systems which you do. Every one of you, when you manufacture a system, is manufactured, is done with your soul, with your energy. The structure has to be understood, and when the structure is not understood, you run into these problems, and then it can cause you more problems because then you can't use it, you get disappointed, or you don't see the process. I put the camera here to explain to you in a very simple way. You put a bead. If you go to the Alex's section, what Alex did, you put a bead inside the system, and then in your bead you have a nano-coated black wire as a center. Then what you do, or what you've done, let me get my color pens out, you put around your nano-material your Gans in this form. And then what you do, you added aluminum foil, and then on the aluminum foil, or the what you call the cover, you have put in like a titanium or whatever nickel paper, and then you have wounded your copper coil in this format. You put coil around it, or you put a coil around, another coil around here, and you have connected this coil in one way to here, and this coil here has been connected to the next system or next unit. These are two different units, here and here. They're not interconnected, they're separate. So what has happened is that in this process, you have transferred the energy of the Gans in the center, which is here, into the material of the nano layer inside. And at the same time, by putting pressure on your plates with the coil, you have released the power of the plasma, energy release of the plasma outwards, that it can be absorbed by these two. And
I seem to have lost Mr. Keshe's audio and video here. Yeah, we lost a little bit there, the last minute or so. Just the part after you were describing about the coils, and just the last part there, like we didn't see about the DC part and the arrows going that way.
Okay.
You were talking about the compression, the pressure of the coils. That's right. Thanks, Vince.
Okay. What happens is that the pressure you put on the plates, the nickel and the aluminum foil, releases two energy of the Gans material inside, which you put with a tissue paper or whatever. This goes, the pressure releases the plasma of the Gans one way into the coated material, which is here, and then the other way is pushing, releasing the energy that can be absorbed by the other nano layers which you winded on the top. So the field release is one into the center layer and one into the coil outside. The way you winded one back into itself to the main core, which is here, this allows to flow the current forward to be picked up and moved to the next stage, which is sitting on the back. So in reality, what you have done, you have created very much a structure of a planet in the solar system, or a solar system in a galaxy. Part of the energy is fed back into the bar, into the system, and whatever is released as in the North Pole or the exit is fed out into the environment, which you, by putting the nano wires around the top of the aluminum foil and a nickel or chrome or whatever you choose, you show the direction. This is where most of you have not understood. You see the wires and you see as the behavior of the electrons. Because of the nano coating on these wires, you show a pattern of flow. You create a river for the flow of energy. You are not dictating the current flow. You're just showing a path, because now the nano coating energy is released into the nano coating, not into the matter state, and the matter state itself is enforced to become a passage, but with matter state inside it. So what you have, what you get is a DC. All the powers you get in this system is DC only. You don't get anything else. All your material is DC. Can I ask you a question? Do you see my writing in the right order or the wrong order? Is it back to front?
It's correct at this side here. Yep.
Yeah,
it's good there, okay.
In your video settings, you can enable that. If you go back to your video settings and uncheck where it says mirror my video, that might make it a little bit easier for you to adjust it.
Okay, I go to my video.
You go to your video settings where you did before.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm there, yeah.
And then you should be able to uncheck where it says mirror or display my video as mirrored or something like that.
Okay, it's done. Okay, now it's easier, because I was getting confused with my own writing.
Exactly. So that's why.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I'm still there. I'm still in the
there.
same. Yeah, I still see it back to front.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what problem I have, what the problem sits, is that all your power sits in DC. This DC is a plasmatic DC. This DC is not electron DC. This is where most of your problem sits, and this is something has to be understood. The reality is that you work in plasma DC, not in electron DC. There is a huge difference, and this difference will cost you failure or success with your systems. Plasma DC is a natural flow of current of gravitational and magnetical, in the flow of the magnetic field of the universe. Electron DC is a given measure of the energy vibration of electron in the flow of magnetic field. So with the current electron flow DC, you have dictated a measure. You have dictated a bandwidth of energy. In a plasmatic DC, there is no bandwidth. So you have a full spectrum of a continuous flow of plasma. When the plasma in this state as a DC reaches the matter state of the copper, then the electron package of the copper dictates what it needs and it transfers that amount to electron DC. This is vital. Please understand this. Your plasmatic DC is different than electron DC. Electron DC is a given measure. It has a bandwidth of gravitational magnetic field strength, vibration, where the plasmatic DC is unconditional, covers from the principle down to the matter state and below. So wherever the plasmatic DC comes in the environment, only releases that bandwidth. So if the electron DC, if you want a proton DC, at the proton level, it releases the proton level energy. And this is where you have to be very clear about this, because then when the DC, plasmatic DC, comes to the what you call 120 or 240 or 220 volts, and it comes to 60 hertz, or it comes to 50 hertz, or it comes to 120, 140, takes the shape of and releases that energy. That's why with the new structure of the plasma technology, the way you're producing energy, this is a chameleon. It fits and it releases what is needed at the point of need. This is what I've been teaching you regarding the structure of the body of the man. When the plasma as a lymph gets to a specific point, at that point, what is needed to become the nail cell or your heart cell or your brain cell, that energy is used for that specific, because it gives it a bandwidth through the neural current and through the emotional part. So you have this position, now you see it. But what happens, where your problem is, and I ask for this to be clarified very urgent that you can understand, is that your beads on these levels, on these layers, and across these wires carry this, the plasmatic energy. And if you do not understand and create a short circuit, or by touch or by material, you release a plasmatic energy which is highly potential than the electron. And then the spark you see is the energy which is from plasmatic at the point of contact, is trying to convert into electrical or electron vibration or current. This is very important. Please, you have two choices. When you're making these beads, you make sure that your wires are isolated and insulated from a metal environment. You do not get this, but you just need a special touch somewhere and it's done. The people who are using this energy, this kind of beads, and they do different form of beads, what I've seen to be done, if we call this formation bead formation 1, as you've seen it, some people use, in a way, formation 1 bead. They use a material, they use a formation 1 bead, and one go to the back, and then they connect this one to another formation 1 bead, and they repeat the same thing. This is highly, highly powerful system. This is extremely powerful system, because what you're doing now, you're adding and adding and adding on. Some people use the second formation. They use this, and this is what Alex has done, and then they go to a normal condition, one beat, normal forward, one beat, normal forward to another beat. If you use this formation, which is back to front, feeding from what I call plasmatic into gravitational, you get a very powerful system, because there is nothing wasted, more or less. Here, you only dictate that you are working with magnetical. You continuously enforce magnetical. And then with these systems, you have a different performance. And then if there is another system which nobody has up to now touched it, is that you use the gravitational from both ends, as a magnetical and gravitational. This system, at the moment, you do not work with. But this second combination, which I've seen been done, so what happens if your coating or your structure touches a matter state, then the release of the plasma in the plasma state changes, converts to plasma at a matter electron plasma, and creates these huge sparks. One of the fundamental points, I repeat again, if you are connecting a plasmatic system like this, as you have developed, plasmatic DC to your, like the car, into your ignition key, please make sure you do not carry gas tanks, because the energy of the system converts into the gas. Your gas tank over time becomes nano-coated. Then your gas inside the tank is a matter state in gravitational and can have dangerous condition. Any of you is using a gas tank as a backup, make sure there is no physical connection between your gas tank and your electric connection and your feeding connection into your system, because there is a misunderstanding that you think you have connected your system to your electric current flow. In this process of plasma, when you connect your cars through the cigarette lighter to a bead system, the whole of the car becomes part of the structure. People who are using the system for past few weeks, hope they've done it, they're in a hurry to see how it works. They have seen a saving of 28%, 30%, and the more they drive the car, they see better performance, is because the energy of the system is becoming more and more plasmatic. If some people are trying, they see they can start the car, but after a while, they need a fuel. As the system grows and develops, you find that you need less and less fuel to the consumption, to add to your consumption of the fuel. The saving is huge. The power supply is very strong. But you got to understand, as we explained, the whole car becomes part of the reactor. We've seen people reporting feeling weightless, or what do you call it, lightness in the brake, feeling that the car is much easier to drive, feeling that the car has a totally different performance, because slowly, as you move it, as the flow goes from the bead, or from even your battery heads where you put 2 coils on it, your system is becoming part of a nano-coated environment. Literally, your car becomes like your body. Whatever inside it behaves as in a what we call vacuum condition. This has consequences, this has applications, and in a way is a neutral state of matter. You only take what you need from it, and this change is huge. If you have a what I call rechargeable battery cars, where you have to recharge your car and use the beads, you will find out a conflict between your system every time you put it into a charger and your system. You have to take one off and the other one. And then as you go further, you find out you don't need to use so much. There is a new design of the system, as I explained last Thursday, coming into operation, which should look after a lot of these things automatically. How much more powerful a plasmatic condition. But our main concern, and this is the reason I call this, is for the people who are testing these cars, testing these beads. These beads have a power that they deliver plasmatic current, not electron current. And when you connect your plug into your ashtray, or you connect wires on your battery, you're looking at you think of electron plasma, where we are actually in a plasmatic condition, universal plasmatic condition. This is very, very important. There is another point. Some of you have been doing, as we shown in the last teaching, you have moved from the beads. The beads are very difficult. The beads are a burden which on the nations which don't have the Gans and all the materials. As we showed to you, we have started using springs. And you've seen the process of the springs where we shown in the drawings and in the system we showed. Some of you are reporting to us that you are getting sparks and you're getting blown every time something blows up the minute you connect your system to your car or you try to use the system. This flow in the spring is different flow than in the beads of what Alex has shown you. This is a different technology. This is a different understanding of technology. Here you are working with plasma transfer totally in a plasmatic condition without interference of matter. In the Alexis bead, you had interference of matter. You had the aluminum foil and you had the nickel foil. Here, everything is plasmatic. System is extremely powerful. These systems are built, that's why we brought it in, for the next stage of teaching, which is to do with lift and motion. Some people are trying this and they're reporting they're getting blow up. When they connect what they've done, for example, they've done a full circle, the way we shown, whatever, and then they connect it to a plug, and when they plug the system in, it blows up. It blows the fuse up. Because what you're doing here is wrong. You have not understood the difference between the plasmatic, electron plasmatic transfer, and interaction and interface between the two. In these processes, the ones who most of you are using or moving into the what I call spring system, which I showed in the last teachings in the center, you got to have understanding that in the beads with annex, with these systems of putting the covers, you have already dictated the matter state plasma. So what has leaked through the physical barrier has already given you the direction of the DC as an electron level. These metal pieces are filters for what it needs to be released into your nano layer. Here you do not have this filter. Here you're dealing with total plasmatic, and most of you see this. We've seen this in the teachings with Arman and Marco. what is needed here as an interface between the plasmatic magnetic field and matter electron magnetic field as you have in your wires. So we need an interface. Here the interface was the plates, you put the aluminum foil and the nickel or whatever. Here you need to introduce this interface, a point of conversion from plasmatic to plasmatic electron level. There are two ways to do this, and this is the only reason I asked for today's or energy discussion, is that this is a freedom you never had in the world of electronics. Here, this energy can be used for the control of lift and landing of your star formation, because everything is plasmatic. And by putting a filter, you can continuously tap in into matter level 2, that you can run your batteries, you can run your cars, you can run your computers or whatever. If you go back into the teaching, I explained that the energy units we will supply will be in the second stage, what we shown with the reactors at the bottom and top, and a plate in the middle. The energy systems we will supply with will cover that if you're going for a lift, because you need this technology to be able to control lift, direction of lift, in a plasmatic level in your coils, with a plasmatic condition in your cores. So you're not converting from plasma to matter. So in fact, if you look, your beads will be like this. You have your beads, your, what I call, not the beads, but the springs, which are in plasmatic, as you've seen it. The center one is gravitational, the other one is magnetical, and then underneath you have the seating of your reactors. And then you have a core reactor number 4, as you've seen in the drawings of the Keshe Foundation we released in the for energy systems. Here, the plasmatic condition controls and shares with plasmatic. There is no matter conversion. Where at part of this here, for example, you want to run your system with, let's say, to run a computer, to run your lighting in the house or lighting in the car or whatever, or a fridge in the car. This interface here is different than the interface here. Here the interface is above matter state because the structure works totally in plasmatic condition. Here is a conversion of the plasmatic flow, universal plasmatic flow, converted to be converted into the matter electron vibration plasma. So at this interface, you need a converter. You need something to convert the energy of the plasma to what is needed in the matter level. As I explained with the sandwich system, this was given by the 2 layers. Here you have 2 choices. You can produce a Gans state, liquid not, but in a paste or even dry Gans, that you put your gravitational magnetic field, because don't forget, in Annex's system, you have a gravitational in the back and a magnetical in the front. Here, your gravitational and magnetical comes together. So you have to allow, you cannot make a physical connection like tying up and putting a screw through. You have to allow your, if I look at it this way, you have to allow your wires to come in and join an environment of a Gans. You don't make a connection. And then you take your matter state out to whatever you need as the point of need. So in this position, your energy comes into a plasma storage. This is a plasma capacitor. If you can achieve this, this is a little bit technical, but most of you can do. The people who are on the job development, they know what to do with this. Or you make a paste. not a liquid. It has to be a hard paste where if you manage, you can succeed to do it. In your paste, you add some not what you call nanomaterials. You introduce some matter state, what you call conductive material, where you convert the energy of the plasma as it comes into the capacitor to the matter state that your current flow in your system can pick up. So what you actually do, you dictate. If you put copper, let's say like a copper dust, or you put copper nanomaterial as a nano black material, and you add wire connection or dust of the copper into the paste, you create that conversion that then your system can pick up. The interface has to be created. These are new capacitors which you have to learn to use. The difference between these capacitors and the capacitors used in the matter state is that these capacitors can hold huge amount of energy, where with the other capacitors which you presently use in the matter state, the capacitance is dictated, 650, 200, whatever. This technology has to be developed. So what you need, and if you don't have this understanding yet to create nano capacitors in a way of Gans capacitors, you have to use the standard capacitors you can buy in the market. You put a capacitor online in two ways, one on the load and one on the interface between the two, that you control the flow of plasma. In a due course, we will explain this. In due course, we'll explain to you. Renan has put this picture on the internet and some people haven't noticed it. And if you are not of the electronic mind, you don't see the use. You need these capacitors, not to store energy, but to convert the plasmatic flow into the current electron plasma flow. Then you'll find out you have access to continuous supply, because the capacitor converts what it needs as it needs from the plasmatic into the AC to a DC or whatever you need into electron plasma flow. This way is the only way at the moment you can understand to convert the energy. And as I said, in the electronic technology of today, what you do, you connect, you have a screw, you put a box in and you screw it, and then you screw the other piece to it. In a plasma technology is the transfer of plasma. Your wires are rivers of fields. They are not physical entity. And when you put a screw on them to tie them up, you create yourself a new problem. Because you try to convert the matter energy from a plasma energy which is coming in, and then you get all the sparks and all the problems. So you need a capacitance. You have to develop a capacitor which converts the plasmatic to the matter energy. Then you don't get the sparks, you don't get the blow-ups, and if you do not do this, you'll find out you cause yourself a lot of problem. In so many ways, the new what are called universal systems with the springs gives you a new freedom. And this freedom is very much can be used to convert the energy of the plasma to any energy you need. You can convert the plasma energy to motion. You can change it to high power megawatt powers. You can convert it to rotational. You can use it to lift. You can use it to create an atmospheric condition for confinement. These are important. These are the next steps, development. And we had to bring this teaching in today for you to understand the use and the difference between the two systems. The one we've seen with Alex, you already have dictated it with the filters. Here you have to introduce a filter. You lot are doing a lot of effort, you're making all sorts of beads, and then you find out your system doesn't work or it blows up, because you have to make a system to convert energy from plasmatic to a matter electron vibration plasma packages. You don't create an electron current. You create packages of electron plasma packages which behaves and manifests itself as an electron current. Is a big difference, a huge difference. One is actual vibration of electrons in the DC as you are used to. With a new system is the energy of the vibration. Is pre-packaged. And you take what you need, and that's why you see huge current flow from these systems. Because there you already have the slices in the matter state. Here you have a vast reservoir that you dictate what size the slice is going to be. You transfer the energy again through nanomaterials into a gas nano state. These plasma capacitors has to be a composite to the level you want the energy to be done. So what you're actually doing, you're dictating the energy level. If you remember in the teachings of the plasma condition, we explained very simply that you can put your reactor, and then by creating different environments, you decide if you have to have hydrogen here and carbon here, or you have a protein here or whatever. Now you see the use of the same thing here. By putting matter state like copper, what you call dust or whatever, now you're dictating the energy which you want to be released, which can be at the level of your consumption. So next time when you're in another space, if you change your systems from, let's say, electron vibration in another environment to a plasma of, let's say you want to use to produce, let's say, carbon only, you create a filter here that it allows you only carbon conversion, and you collect carbon energy level. And then you convert this energy level to carbon as a gas or a matter state or whatever you need. This is the important part of this teaching. If you understand the filtering, here we do the plasmatic filtering, here we do interface between the plasmatic and the matter state filtering. For some of you will jump across this, you understand it very quickly. Some of you will take time. Here you're using with the plasma state. Again, you have to decide what you want to do it and how much you want to filter out of it. One is the load, and one is to your direct, what you call, supply. Is there a need in the coming time to connect your systems to the power supply of the house and then see production? What we see and what we will explain in the coming time is that if you are using the power supply, power generators, please understand one thing. A lot of systems, as we've been told, like the Italian systems, they only show power consumption out, what is used. They do not consider what you put back into the grid. So what you see, you're still paying the power use, but you don't see benefit of what you're putting out. So what you need to do in the cases like this is disconnect yourself from the power supply of the grid and connect yourself to your own system production. This is one of the things we teach as we come to it. Once we release the commercial unit, videos will be made. We will never publish any paperwork with this because everything will go on the internet. Teaching, you're advised, do not operate your system till you've seen the documents on the teaching. You have to sign you've seen it, that you can use the system. So you will understand in the coming time, some countries like Italy have blocked the reversal of your meter into the grid, which means you will never see any benefit. You still keep on paying the same bill because only shows your power consumption. In these cases, you have to make arrangements that you disconnect yourself from the system, that you create yourself a new power supply. The same thing is, as we said, these are changes to come that is inevitable. It's not that we try to do different thing, is that we see problem, because I had Giovanni telling me this is what the problem sits in the Italian system, and I explained to him this is how he has to be done. Because if you look at the setting in the lab, which we've shown you, we have 2 meters. We have 1 meter, which shows what is going into, and we have 1 meter what is coming out of, and we are at 5.5 times. And in other systems, we are 3 times. These things we have no control over. Depends on your national grid, how you set up is, because if they don't allow you to feed back, you don't get benefit by it, but you still see the consumption to be paid. So you have to decide, and it needs experts to connect you to these systems. You cannot just do it yourself. And there is another point which is very important. What we've seen and we explained to you, and you've seen in the test in the lab, is that you see we have a plug, and we plug our system like the fans into this plug. And then we connect this into the grid or to the plug system of the building, and then the other side is connected to the beads. Yeah. So what you have to realize is that wherever you connect this connection of to your supply counts. If you make this connection in the room and you connect to this, whatever you use in this environment is applying to the system. If you connect this at your meter point of the interface, then you cover the whole house. In some cases, you are on different phases. You have to know which phase you're operating in the house. You might be using 2 different phases or 1 different. You have to allow the people who understand this to come and adjust and control this. The energy unit is as a point. So when you use the system, you can disconnect yourself at a point from the main supply of your supplier, and then you operate on the different section. But don't forget, everything in your system then is on the AC/DC, accepted as the system needs it. So you have both AC and DC supply into the system. The changes, the conversions of technology is inevitable. It cannot be stopped. So this is a new technology that a lot of you are testing. In the coming time, I explain more and more in this, because it is important for me to make sure that we all understand what is happening. We showed the spring system in the last day of the teaching in the center without people understanding much explanation and difference in it. It had to be done to stop people getting disappointed on not being able to understand what has gone wrong, or why the system keeps on blowing up and you cannot make connections. We answered to some people on the emails, but in general, as I see these questions rising again and again, it had to be done, because in the coming month, you will see new developments. As I said, I brought the spring system into operation, into explanation, that we are clear that the system is getting set up for lift system. In a coming time, most of you, if we progress the right way, you should be able to use your systems for lift and motion. Because what has happened, as the AC flows in your car, and as your plasmatic AC flows in the car, as we're seeing, as the whole car gets controlled by a given system, then the emotion, the 5-star, comes into operation, lifting and positioning. We are stepping towards the lift and motion collectively, than one person showing or one person doing. We do not go into the details. If someone shows it that they understood and they reached that level, then we open the door in teaching in that level. Till then, we'll wait for the majority to join us to understand. A lot of you are still working on the beads. A lot of you are working, have started working on the spring condition. But don't forget, even this spring conditions we shown is a temporary positioning. As you have seen with the systems which we showed with Marco, we have already have gone into the plasmatic Gans state operation. So you are a couple of stages behind, and even this transition Gans plasmas, if you go on the teaching of the last session in the new center, you see the little what I call Gans balls. You see the Gans balls sit in a specific position in respect to the base reactor and upper reactor, that with them, when we start controlling, we can dictate the direction of the flow. In conjunction, if you look at it as a layer, the beads, these are your reactors, and then you have your new plasmas here. Then you see how the base reactors with the condition of these beads will start creating in its own star formation, direction of motion, emotional interaction, and the rest. I have seen a lot of people asking, especially in Austria, about the defense and control of environment, which is they think they're getting attacked by. If you can develop this technology, you create your own plasmatic barrier, psychological or mental. Hopefully, if you're allowed, we show this in full understanding in a conference in the coming weeks. But we are waiting for clearance that it can be explained and be done. This is part of the control of the system in totality. There is something I have to explain to you, and I've been asked to clarify this point. The whole purpose is to teach, for you to understand, to carry on developing. We do not look at a couple of people who are hanging around trying to do character assassination. We know what they are doing. They are there to serve us. You will understand why. All the, what I call, you call it rubbish and intimidation of the Keshe Foundation, and the harassment we used to be conditioned to in Belgium. Now we see the same harassment has gone on the internet. Now it shows exactly who's been behind it all the time. These are to our benefit. These are to the benefit of the foundation. As I released a little note that please do not respond to these people. Keep their respect. They are serving the foundation. They do not know how, but nobody has served the foundation more than these people with what they've done in past 3 or 4 weeks or 6 weeks. Now you see, when we told you we've been under such a harassment and torture in Belgium. Now you see who's been behind it. Now the harassment has come on the internet. Now you understand what you have to stand in the coming time when you start using this system by multinationals. This is not for us, it's for you to see. For you to understand, bring in a new technology, collectively we can share the pressure. And that's why I take my time to teach. These people who are putting so much things, they're going for character assassination and the forcing of all sorts. You see what we've been going through. Now you understand when we tell you what we've been going through. These are for the benefit of the foundation. These are not for damaging us. They are serving us better than they can think. So please refrain from participating. Out of millions of supporters, a handful of people don't count. Because they have to confirm their existence, and they lose their position and their income if they don't do so. So please, I advise you, refrain from making any comments to these few lines which is done by one man, different names and everything else, and 2 or 3 friends who have their own clandestine activities. They are serving us. You will understand how. And I said, I will show this. Now you understand when I tell you I've been going on the assassination attempts and everything else. Now you see exactly how it's been done. The same people. They just changed from cars to internet. So have respect for them. They need respect because they are serving us very well, and you will understand. Our purpose is to carry this technology to its next phase, to lift, to bring every border down, that we are one nation, one planet, one race, human race. A foundation so big, running in tens of millions around the world, always have a few people who have to confirm their own existence through their own meager life. We have to respect that meager life. So please concentrate on what we are heading for. On Thursday, we start the international teaching of the health. It is important. Please pay attention to this coming up Thursday. We are setting up an international, worldwide clinical trials for the materials by the people, for the people, added and tested by the people. We are not bringing in anything from outside. You are doing the testing. You are developing the systems. You are following the pattern of survival of man in the space. If you are the last man standing, you should know how to use systems to save yourself. We are developing a space technology. We are not going against any pharmaceuticals. There are no pharmaceuticals in the space. The pharmaceutical is your knowledge, is your chance of survival. So what is planned for Thursday and the following Thursday, and if we see the pattern going, the whole of summer sessions will be totally devoted for you to gather information in a central position with the website team of setting up that if you decide to test, if you already have tested nanomaterial, Gans material, without digestion, without contacting the physicality, please note, all our teachings from Thursday is people who have used the Gans material or nanomaterials by not the actual nano layers or Gans to come in touch with the physical body of the man. If you use the water as a transfer of energy, it's a different point. But you cannot digest. If you have digested nanomaterial or Gans, we don't want to know. Then you understand the reason why I explained to you here in a very simple way the condition of the filtering. How you filtered here and how you create a filter here. When you digest direct Gans material, you create this condition. You create a horrendous condition. When you drink it as a water plasma, you pass it through, it does not convert. If it's not needed, it goes through. When you drink Gans material, when you absorb or put nano layers in touch with the body of the man, you create a filtering, permanent filtering. This is where the danger comes. So now you understand why part of the teaching of today is important for Thursday teachings, because now you, this way you use, when you drink a water with a Gans outside, and what is the content of material is like here. The body takes what it needs in the plasmatic state without going through matter state. In here you have preconditioned. And this is the danger. That's why we say nanomaterials, anything connected with nanomaterials cannot physically enter the body of the man. There is a note that you've seen, we have put, Dr. Elia Kostova has asked all her names to be removed from all the Keshe Foundation's websites. This, we understand the reason. We understand exactly what she has asked for this to be done. We have respected her wish. We'll explain to you in the coming days the reason behind it. But it does not affect our work. She's one person in 7 billion. She participated in teaching, and so she has now asked her name to be removed. She's a single doctor in the millions of doctors and scientists, and every one of you is a new scientist. At the same time, We see collaboration and cooperation of millions of you, which will come into the teaching of the Thursday onwards. Whatever you've seen, some of you have already started using the recommendation or the way Renan has shown. He's covered a nano-material that does not physically touch the body. That's why we allowed him. He shows the prudence and correct use. In the case of Dr. Elia Kostova, she just went into the body, and now you understand the dangers, what is in there, and we explained it before. We support prudent application. We support prudent development of the technology. And we see the next 4 or 5 weeks as a human race collectively collecting data for the application of the new science for human race. Instead of waiting the knowledge to be reported in 40 years, in 30 years to suit who, now you test, we put a form on, you report what you've seen. We try to make a division, for example, for migraine, for toothache, for skin lesions, for a stomach. Some of you will go to the extent of using for cancer and the rest. We respect that. It's your decision. We put the warning on. I've asked Brendan to continuously put you do these things on your behalf for human race, not for us. You just report to us. We are collecting agency for human race in the new development of the technology for space. So instead of sponsoring and paying millions to the companies to do, you do it by yourself. Whatever you do, you decide to do is your decision. But if you have used it and you've seen the benefit or damages of it, please report back to us. Fill in the form. In coming time, we try to make a chart that you can see success rate in migraine, success rate in Alzheimer's, success rate in whatever. The reason is you have to understand the background of the Keshe Foundation work. We are one race, one nation. No borders, no barriers, no nationhood, no race. Those who work around the Keshe Foundation, working on the same ethos, share knowledge this way. Those who want to abuse it, to see it as a negative, they have paymasters. We respect them and their paymasters. But you have to carry on. We have to go through the phase of development from matter to a plasma into the space technology. So use the materials, use the Gans in a way which is protected, never comes in touch with the body externally or internally, but you can transfer its information. Use, understand. Please, when you start using the nanomaterials, remember all these teachings, because then, in fact, your body is at the end of descent. Here you see an electric motor, you see a computer. But in fact, when you use a Gans system, you're at descent. You decide you want to be a safe process, or if you want to danger yourself. Those who want to patent and they run around trying to patent the technology under different names, I have a very bad news. World intelligence security people have been alerted for people who are taking different names of the technology trying to patent. Anything with a Casimir effect on the world patent and participation is being blocked as of yesterday. We made sure of this, that words cannot be used because the information sits on the internet. World patent offices are getting informed, and at the same time, anyone who comes up with new technology, we are informing directly governments at the highest level. In a conference in the coming weeks, we'll announce this the same. So, you want to produce materials, you're welcome. You want to share knowledge, you're welcome. You want to keep your knowledge to yourself and develop new technologies without a pattern, we encourage you. If, in any shape or form, we have seen, and we will see people trying to use by changing word in the Keshe Foundation patents or the other application which is on the public domain to patent. We are keeping continuously both patent offices informed of the changes which are coming, because their scientists are not aware of the change and they think it's something new. It's your responsibility in each country to inform your patent office that these are the technologies. Anybody does is on the internet, give them all the links. I was told past day or two, there are over 120 or 115 Keshe Foundation links organizations around the world in different nations. So we cover most of the humanity. There is one request I have. This request comes very directly to the Israelis who work and see and operate through the Keshe Foundation. Please bring the Israeli government and Keshe Foundation together in your country. You are part of the same family. It's the Keshe Foundation Israel who has to bring the government in understanding the technology of the plasma coming from Iran is a friendly technology, and this adds us to our work in the world peace matter. We need this support. We need the Palestinians, who are a lot of you. We need a lot of our supporters in the Keshe Foundation around the world to inform the Israeli government that we are one nation, one country. This is part of the World Peace Program. Send them the energy system, the way we inform the Office of His Excellency President Putin. I am doing a lot of work in the background in bringing the position into action by the government. It's not very easy. It's not easy to overcome military people to accept such a thing. Because there's 2 points. They lose their position, and when there is no army, there is no generals. And the generals have a very good life. It'll take 16 months to change the flow. I've been asked to head the peace roadmap by a government, and I said it's not my job. It's the world leaders who have to accept it, and we have requested His Excellency President Putin to take the flagship. And I made the same request to His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran and His Excellency Ayatollah Rouhani. We are trying to establish peace on the line where we can interface. The same with the Chinese government. The Chinese people have to deliver the roadmap to the leadership, the way we have done through our ambassadorial connections. Because what you've seen here, it takes a few weeks to be on the plan in the car. Governments have to understand. When we release the systems, as I said today, this morning with my conversation with the Keshe Foundation Chinese, that we send the blueprint to Keshe Foundation, not to a person in China. All our new developments, all our new systems will be delivered to Keshe Foundation. Don't come back to us and ask for an ethos of the Keshe Foundation. How do we set up? Set up a Keshe Foundation according to the law of your country, and connect your foundation to the Keshe Foundation Holland, Stichting the Keshe Foundation, in any shape or form you can. That way, we know you're not a limited company to go, and the Keshe Foundation in Holland has a line of connection to distribute knowledge to you. We have moved most of the production for the time being to Italy. All the backlog of the materials which were not coming out of China because of the reasons, whatever, will be supplied from Italy, and as of this week, we'll start fulfilling backlogs. Systems have been developed, materials has been shipped and converted, and we'll meet our backlog because of the situation in China, the what they call supply break for a short while. It's all been met. The people in China are doing their best to support us till we bring their technology in line in Italy, but there is one need. The cost of the material in Italy or in Europe is higher than China. The same is in Africa, there is not enough material. In America, different. In South America, different. Please understand, you have to build a Keshe Foundation for your nation. Start producing systems for your nation in your country, not to import. We support you till you become independent, but your target has to be all the energy systems. You send to Webmaster confirmation of the development of the Keshe Foundation in your country as a limited company or as a foundation. In response, we put somebody that will send you all the blueprints for the systems. But the Keshe Foundation, that nation has to confirm the receipts. So it's not going one man setting up a company trying to get the things to use it for himself. We watch, we control. So please understand, we are moving from one nation, one country, to one nation, one world, one planet. So we have to work this way. And this, from now on, that we've gone into this process of energy transfer, lift and motion, conversion of the matter into what we call food and energy through the new filtering system that I explained to you today, we need to be one. As I said, do not look at the ones who are trying to character assassinate. None of them have put a single knowledge of technology on the table. None of the entries we've seen on the internet in past few weeks by these, what I call people who have to confirm their existence, and I told you, we told, now you understand how we've been tortured by the same people. Now they start below the torture on the internet. They have not added a single piece of knowledge to the technology. It's you who's adding to the knowledge. It's you who's adding to the man's equality in fair share of knowledge. You come, you learn from us, and you put it on. The people who come and take the technology and hide it till they develop a technology, then they market it, they're not here for our benefit. They're here for the benefit of their own pocket. We don't hide, we put everything on the table. We've seen how Renan has done, we've seen how Alex has done, we've seen how the Mexicans have come on, we've seen how the South Americans are participating. Now we see in China and India, a young boy is coming on the scene, developing new technology. Everything is on the table. Those who have to hide till they do, they have a problem. In technology, we hold technology back till we have a full confirmation of the development. There are a lot of developments are going around the Keshe Foundation in the background because we have to have 100% proof of the correctness before we release it. It's not that we are hiding technology from you, it's just we're developing it to the point. But if you develop and you go into trying to commercialize or to sell the technology under different names to different people and companies, then you already have it stolen from yourself and from the foundation. So please understand the change today. First of all, understand that your energy systems are changed. I explained the foundation from the beginning, how it's changed, how the plasma energy has to be changed to a given package electron plasma vibration, not the energy of electron. Understand the terminology I use, electron plasma vibration, which means the energy released from the vibration of the electron that allows a system to run. Is not the energy of an electron, because electron does not open its plasma totally and give it to you. You have a vibration, that vibration of the bandwidth releases a package of energy which is very minute, and your plasma releases that energy as a DC, as a plasmatic condition. So understand the process, add to the process, add to the knowledge of humanity, that collectively we can head for a better change. Please participate as many as you can in the trials which we start in the health section on Thursday. I have asked Rene to go in deep detail how he does it, the way he does it, the way he produces his nanomaterial, the way he has used the technology, and he keeps on explaining it has to be safe. It's your responsibility. We all decide to add to the knowledge of the man, and with it we take certain risk. It's us who has to assess the risk. We don't hide if we fail. Please, if something goes wrong, let us know, because then you save other people's going through the same wrong positioning. Add to our knowledge. Failure is a winning when it's shared, because the others don't make it. We run this clinical trial worldwide on all the Ganses and all the nanomaterials. You have a muscle pain, you have a tissue pain, you have a cancer you decide to do, because I receive a lot of emails from people who say they have a cancer, can I help? Now you can help the humanity. It's your decision. If to use the technology or not is your life right. But from now on, we start sharing knowledge directly. We could have kept the technology of the health in the background and run a lot of things. I have put my life at risk for 15 years to add it. On Thursday and the following weeks, you will get the direct knowledge of my technology when the people like the plasma, like Gans, like Rene, when they add to it, I will add to it that you understand. You've seen in one of the teachings, I open one of the cups. Now I show you how you transfer the knowledge I used for the Gans materials in use of cups and use of water to help yourself with different diseases. The health technology is open to you for you to support the humanity in a space, not to damage any pharmaceuticals. We invite pharmaceuticals, if they decide to collaborate, to bring data into it, or we release all our data to all the pharmaceuticals, that they can process it and they see what they can use to the benefit of mankind. We are not going to fight. This is a technology for a space. You're in a space, you have a disease, you come across a new disease, how are you going to do? Are you going to wait for 20 years when, as they say, you're 20 light years away from Earth for a pharmaceutical place to find the reason, run a trial, find the money to run a trial and send it back to save your life? Because they've never seen such a disease. Or with you understanding the transfer of plasma, you can find a solution for the disease and then you share it with the rest of the people in the space. This is how I overcome it. This is what it is. In so many ways, we become one nation, one planet, one universe. Because the diseases we get in the space is not for the other creatures, it's for humanity. And if you are in one part of the universe, you should be able to share it with other humans if they come across it, what to do with it. You can see the direct of expansion. Do not be worried about somebody will tell me this, I get harassed. Nobody can harass. There is an international law. What you do in your house is your decision. Nobody can tell you what to do and what not to do. This is your right. And if you decide to share that with the rest of humanity, it's your right too. There is one, and I repeat, do not please use any Gans or any nanomaterial for entering the body, touching the body directly, or be consuming them directly. And then join us. Share the knowledge with the rest of humanity. Understand this process. This process, I repeat again, is vital. Understand how much energy in how you create filters, that even the energy from the Gans is converted into the water or to the skin or through the brain or whatever. This is very important change. This is a vital important change in understanding of the technology. How you decide where to be and teach us. We open the health. We taught you the teaching with the plasma. We taught you the teaching with the Gans. Now we do the health collectively together. Not as one, or as Alex, or as Rena, or as the guys in China, or whatever. The health, I deliberately open the health worldwide. Every one of us is responsible for the health of the other. Because if we don't do, we have to give through our souls to save them. Humanity is one soul. So I encourage you, anywhere around the world, anywhere you have access to any internet communication, ask people to join in. We need to collect data in a very simple way. We don't intrude the body, we don't take material. We use the fields of the universe to change the field of humanity at the level of the humanity matter level Gans. And let us collectively collect data. On Thursday, from Thursday, we did the test in the lab for the Gans. We showed the test, some people in their homes. Now, health is open worldwide. If you want to test, we give you a time, short time, long time, to come in to explain what you've done, what the results are. What they say, we need what they call evidence, or what you call the evidence in the clinical tales. There is a word for it. Attestation, we call it. So you attest to what you've done, what you've seen. You can do it verbally, you can put it in writing. In writing or whatever, the webmasters will work in the background till Thursday to be able for you to fill in the form, what you used, the way you used it. You can just type in, and then just at the bottom the results. It worked, how it worked, was good, how many minutes you took it, how it worked, the rest of it. We change the course of humanity. We don't need to pay millions, tens of thousands. As one of the top guys in the American government's structure of the work was telling me, we have a huge bank of, what do you call it, policies to cover us for any eventuality. You can shelve all these policies and use the nano-materials, the Gans materials, combination of Gans materials. I will show you this new formation of the Gans material used in the water, that collectively we change the course of humanity at one race, as one team, as one organization. And this is the Keshe Foundation. Now you see the family worldwide comes together. We cover more or less, there is a Keshe Foundation supporter in every nation and territory on this planet. Doesn't matter you're in a little island or you live in the biggest nation or the richest or poorest nation. We work together that we can then transfer the knowledge on. The Keshe Foundation Italy, very soon we release the materials on the internet as a unit that it can be purchased, or you can tell us you want to donate. We donate all our money out as long as we can run the operation of the Keshe Foundation smoothly in the background. Every cent surplus is going into research, in paying researchers, in developing systems, in giving systems freely to the people around the world. We have no problem with this. There's never been a problem with this. The problem comes when we hold information back, when we go behind other people's in the Keshe Foundation, trying to make money and putting patents in to block the others from using it or defrauding. There are people in certain capitals are trying to pretend to the governments they have developed a new energy system and they are it's going to change and everything is theirs. The officials already know of the position. We have already been informed of the position. There are a number of people who are running around. There are a number of people who are running around with the Keshe Foundation. They say to the governments, we are Keshe Foundation, we have this technology. We support you. We support you fully. Even if it means that brings finances for the Keshe Foundation for your country. We have Malta. We've seen how Emmanuel and Yo have so worked hard to put everything in the name of the Keshe Foundation in front of Maltese government. We've seen the same in Iran. We've seen the same in some of the European countries. People are approaching the governments on the name of the Keshe Foundation, not for themselves. We support you. We release everything possible to your government. The defense technology, the water treatment technology, everything else. So please understand, from Thursday, we work as one team health organization worldwide to save our lives. to save our lives in the space, but we learn pre-time. And it's for you to report to yourselves and to your other fellow men what you've seen, what changes you've seen, how it should be done, how it should not be done, and it stays in file. People can go and read when they need it, at the time they need it. If they have a migraine, they go and look for migraine, how you winded the wire, how you mixed it, how you used it, that they can use it. And we try to be very specific how to build every system, that it can be done. And we've seen a lot of good people around the foundation who make animation of it, who make copies of it very quickly. So the Keshe Foundation Health Teaching from Thursday is yours to develop. You all wanted a workshop. You all wanted to do something. Some of you could make the reactors. Some of you did the Gans. Now move into the health. A lot of you have, every single one of us, we are born to be sick, to die because of the misfunctioning of the physicality. From the minute we are born, we are destined to finish. It's how we decide to live this life and how we share the life with the others in our, what are called community of humanity. So join us, as many as you can, to do a worldwide development of the health system for people, by the people, for human race. In the space we are early, or then in the space we'll be already educated. We need this. We have to do this. We have to extend the knowledge, and this way we do it collectively. Do not get bothered by the few who have to serve their own masters. As I explained to you, and I go back onto it again. Maybe now you understand why the Cuckoo Foundation was set up. It's the same people who tortured us for 10 years. Now they bring the torture back on the internet. The same lies, the same deception, the same friends, but stabbing in the back. Now we see it. And they try together to break up the Keshe Foundation, and the members of the Keshe Foundation, they go name by name. These are people who will never move. They never rock, because they know why they are here. So please do not be deterred by a few, what I call terrorists on the internet. We will respond in time, and then you understand. We knew all the time what is going on, but we had no choice. We were landlocked. Now we are free in Italy. We have a full support of Italian government at the highest levels for us. We have received the full protection from several governments. We have even been given change of country to be safe away from these people. But we don't have to run. We will not change. We stay put. We will serve the humanity, and we rely on your support. We are open. We make a mistake, we talk about it, and it has to be the same. If you're in your clinical trials, find a problem, share it with us very rapidly, that others don't repeat. One of the things I keep on asking you, please, any development you see, like this CO2 kit, like the capture of the new nanomaterials, the energy systems, continuously make your job to inform World Patent Office and your local patent office, your government patent office. These things are developed, are on the internet, nobody can patent. This is the only way we can block these people from stealing from your work to their own private benefit. There is no objection if you produce systems, we support you. You develop anything, I told even today to the Keshe Foundation China, you want to develop technologies or manufacture systems for your country, fellow men, we support you from the foundation financially. I've done the same with the Americans, I've done the same with the others. I have told the Filipinos the same as I've told to the South Americans and to the Africans. Keshe Foundation will use its all finances to allow Keshe Foundations in each part of this planet to become the supplier of systems to make the life of the people in that area comfortable. As I said before, we are looking for 10 mass production units in the world. We have China, with the Chinese Keshe Foundation. We are encouraging the Filipinos to start a process for Central Asia. India will stay on its own. We support the Indians Keshe Foundation. You need to contact us to develop this. You have a beautiful scientist, young man, which will give you the support for development. We're looking for the same position in United States. Arman and the team of the people at the highest level in the American system are supporting us. In Europe, we do it in Italy, and then we have to spread it to Spain, Germany, and most probably Holland. In Russia, we support work directly with the Keshe Foundation Russia. They are very hardworking people, extremely loyal for a long time to the foundation. I respect your work. We need production in Australia, and we need production in Africa, in 2 or 3 nations. At the moment, we see Ghana as one of the points, and South Africa as another. This support comes through our support team in the United States, and we respect that, and we thank you for the opening of the doors. We work as one nation, but we try to spread the knowledge and technology. Please, from Thursday, join us to do a worldwide health development. We need it if we are to succeed in the space to stay alive. What you hide that you might benefit by financially can cost the life of a man in a space. Would you like to consider yourself as a murderer? This is the way you got to look at it. Charity doesn't come by giving a few cents here or paying somebody somewhere. Charity now is the knowledge. What you donate with the knowledge is the true donation, because you can save a life directly. You can save a life, you can save the pain of a man by what you put into the pocket of the world knowledge as a group, as collectively. And I thank you for this. Are there any questions?
Mr. Keshe, this is Modris from Malta.
Yes.
Can I share something from my work? It's possible today?
Yes, please.
Okay. I will share my screen.
We can hear you breathing.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm going to switch my camera off. Please do not share your screen. We see the programs you carry because it can be hacked. Anybody shares the screen, make sure you're at the right page, that the programs in the background cannot be seen, that they use the weak points in that program to attack your computer.
He should be okay, Mr. Keshe. He's on a mobile device.
Well, it doesn't matter, but others have to know.
Yes.
You got to realize a lot of what I call internet terrorists sit around watching and trying to break into. We had this done to our computer, so we know what we are talking about.
Okay, thank you for this. It's really my phone. There is nothing to take.
You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
A small brain thinks of small things.
Yeah, yes, it's made it disconnected, so I'm reloading this.
While you're trying to get there, I might explain something to add to it. On Thursday teaching, we might show you the first new CO2 kits, universal kits, and we might show you the Keshe Foundation star formation kits, which is going to be delivered in the coming days. We show you the prototype, which is completed, going to come for mass production. So you might have a look at what is to come and what is to be delivered. The new systems of the star formation and the system alone are extremely beautiful, where you can control the speed of the rotation of your cores through your computer. Your control, your power supply goes through your computer. You can dictate and in a way operate as a remote control. Not a remote control, but in a way through USB stick or USB connection, you can control the speed of the reactors you use for the cell formation. So the power supply is directly, maybe it can be used as your computer laptop. So allows you a lot of flexibility in a lot of things, which we hope we should be able to do it. Have you reached there, or are we still waiting for you?
Yes, it's reached, but it's disconnected again. It was on.
Maybe you're not supposed to share the knowledge yet.
Could be.
So what you will see while you're trying to get your screen shared, what we're doing is that we are controlling, or we are hoping to be able to put in this new star formations computer program connection, where you buy amplifier system with different amplifier programs on the internet, and you use the amplifier, if it's possible, to control the speed of rotation of your motors through the links. So you don't see these huge motors as you've seen in the past with the Keshe Foundation. And the beauty of it is that we'll be using motors which are very silent. So you can hear the noise of the plasma when you reach it. And then, as I said, you will hear the Messiah name. Carry on, now we see you.
Share, Mr. Keshe?
Yeah, carry on.
We'll try to change my position. Maybe internet connection will be better, because
yeah, we see it now. We see your drawing.
Okay, so I was working on my piece reactor. So you can see there is a 4-star Mason unit in like inside. In the middle, this is a control panel. So 1 second, I will explain everything what I. So
you have in a way drawn what I explained last teaching. To place this is what you're showing us, is what Marco showed in physicality.
Yeah, but they did it a bit. This is like spiral. But how the like if you follow the galaxy, how it's like goes. So
I understand.
Like
I can see it. I can see what you've done. It's the same process. Yeah.
Then what I was trying to do extra, I was thinking not to use motors, but to make again the gravitational and magnetical go in, and make the force, the fields interact by the movement of the plasma.
This is, I explained this to you in the teaching, that the creation, most probably if you go into the, what I call the private teaching, the class teaching, with the way that we shown this system with Marco, is the current flow as you drain it to use for electricity or for running your system. This creates a dynamic flow of the plasma that you don't even need the cores in the base anymore. Okay. This is the next step you're trying to, but we explained this before in the last couple of teachings. I understand what you're trying to do, and it's very nice to see the way you're drawing it. So, in fact, you should not need, you're going very fast. It's amazing how you're developing. You have the insight, but now you have to extend it into reality. Marco's system is a good reference. The system which I designed, Marco put together, it does exactly what you're showing.
Okay. Yes, it's a combination of teamwork, and then about the extraction of the energy, because everything is locked up. So I was like trying to feed everything back to the like mother core or the plasma, and then like you see they're going in like from the magnetical and gravitational. So and like that you can direct the from in where you want to tune in.
How do you do it? Because in the Alex system and in the system we shown, we create a flow through what I call gradients of the fields. How do you do it with yours?
So this is free plasma. This one goes in to attach this nano pin. It doesn't go through. It goes just, let's say, till here, and another one as well, like to attach the plasma. So then I was thinking, like, if you, example, go directly and take it out, because idea was to, if you want to connect to the some electric power, basically you have to draw from these ones out, not when we usually was taking from the wires, but we draw out from this one. And then, like example, if you take it in from the middle, it's supposed to be too strong. So that's why these pins, from when it comes from the outside, I made it like in this way to attach. So
Yeah, you see what happened if you go back on the drawing, especially ask the cameraman to look into the system which was on the table with the balls on the last teaching. We have created a gravitational ring and a magnetical ring, and Marco has put two beams, which is like adjusters. You can adjust to increase
exactly the same thing.
Yeah. This is I've seen because we already have that designed by Marco.
The thing what I was made different, you extract from here if you want to drain, you drain from here, and you still can,
From where? Can you explain what you mean there? Where is there?
Okay, so
use
example,
the blue.
Blue, okay. So from here, you take it here, and you take from here, and then you connect it to main. Or
This
wherever
is
you want.
yeah. This is correct. This is what we've shown with the 2 points. You decide the different strength in magnetical, and you decide different strength in gravitational. Go into a very close up of the unit. You're breathing down your microphone. You go very close to the drawing of to the actual unit which Marco we sat on the table. You see two very dark metal bars which are sliding on two pipes in the center.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so what you're showing us is what we've shown there. Now you're trying to do what we've done it. There are some problems there. If you're trying to develop this, talk to me outside. I explained to you the points you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
And the other point is that this way, with the sliding as you shown in the blue, you can decide the strength of the magnetical and gravitational. This way you create the isotopes of materials.
Yeah, this was another thing that I was just example, if I'm tune this one here, and
can you open your drawing please, because we see very narrow. Okay.
So example, if I'm tuned on this one, like
I can't see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tune here, and then I'm tuned this one. So they will gonna look up. So here and here. So the idea is will be the fields will be interaction here. So the point of reference or point of the speed or the instruction will be this part, right?
More or less, yes. But the way, please go back on the drawings of, actually not the drawings, but the unit which is on the table. I said in the teaching of last Thursday in the center, this is one of the most important, beautiful units which we could put down on the table for the new plasma technology. Because now, look at the magnetical. Your magnetical, where you put a blue line, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is your fixed, what we call Coulomb's barrier for energy of a matter, yeah? And then as you change the gravitational, your other blue dots where you just made a loop up and down, then you can create like one neutron more, one electron, one neutron less, and see and measure the behavior and the size of this unit which you put there and be shown is the prelude to making a system for measurements of all the gravitational magnetic field of all the matters in the universe, being on the all the fields of the universe, being on the plasmatic principle to matter to transition. This unit will, and then if you use this in conjunction with your 3-star formation, then you will see how you can create different gravitational to go lower. You move the one you put the gravity, let's say, to the center, so you increase the gravity, and then you increase your magnetical, you give yourself shielding. There is one point. If you go in the center of your thing, you have put a little black circle, yeah?
Yeah.
That black circle, you can do something, because I add to the knowledge, because we are using this in another part of technology development. You can put a ball of Gans in there. If you put a ball of, if you put a ball of dry Gans, wet Gans, doesn't matter. It doesn't need a connection. But now you have a source supply. You create what you like to call a principal ball matter. So if you put that circle there, because we are using this in the development of the technology somewhere else now, I can add to the knowledge that everybody else knows too. Because this way, if you do without the application to the base 3 reactors, this system can be used for energy on its own.
Yeah, I thought so, because it's continue.
And then if you change the field strength of, let's say, base reactors, and where you have that ball, which I said you can put the Gans, and be managed to bring the free plasma to sit in that position, or you move your plate up and down, that the free plasma comes in the center of that point where you have now your circle, then you have a full universal system. Go back on the teacher when we showed the new star formation energy units designed in Italy. I showed you the grooves on the side that we can move the plate up and down.
Yeah, I remember.
This is for our purpose. This is for our purpose. Then you don't need to put a Gans. But if you want to create a single energy unit control, you put a Gans in there, so you have continuously sun which radiates, and you pick up by your gravitational magnetic field connections. You are very, very in line, up to date with what we are teaching, and it's fantastic to see this. I love people in Malta. you have a different mentality between Africa and Europe, and you see things totally different in a very clear way. It's beautiful to see this. It's a very nice interpretation of what we put on the table, and for the others to understand. If you one way to start the rotation with the 3 cores without the motor, if you put this plate where it is now, is to rotate the both arms, the one which you put infinity on and the one you put M on, the G and M arms, very rapidly, very, very rapidly. If you rotate them at a high speed very rapidly in the future, if you can do, you create a magnetic vortex which will start the plasma in all your base reactors and the top reactor without any motors.
What do you mean rotate? You mean moving around? Or
moving around, yeah. I've done that with Marco's system. With the system.
What about, I had another idea. If I make the tube, very tiny tube, similar what Rick was showing, and I make this tube running through the Gans, running through.
You see, you can do it with a physical movement of the G and M arm on your drawing, or you can.
Yes, I understand. You mean here, these two.
These
yes,
two
I
arms.
can do it.
Or you can do it by variation. By variation in the power drainage from the set. If you start creating a variation in the field pool of the magnetical and gravitational ring, that will create a vortex of the fields, which will get the plasmas in your cores moving without the motor.
Yeah, this was my idea. Used to not move anything, just by drawing to make the fields run through.
Yeah. So you need a variation. You can move the 2 arms, or create a variation in field strength of the gravitational and magnetical, that it creates a dome and it reaches the 3 reactors at the bottom and the top one. This will give you the physicality state of the matter. which means then you see the spaceship drawing. This is how spaceship systems create their motion. If you have ever understood, let's go back to the system we see over Jerusalem on the Christmas day. That gives you an indication how the light outside suddenly start rotating, and then the system creates a barrier and it lifts up. The rotation of the gravitational magnetic field in your plate is the creator of the flow of the current in your plasmas, in your cores, and then the creation of the field and manifestation. In a slow rotation, you keep the structure all the time. If you can finish this into a physical unit, you will see for the first time the spaceship structure.
Yeah, there was some questions to build it. So example, one of the first questions, I will start winding the wires already last 2 days. This is all what I'm doing, winding the wires. So example, if I'm winding the wire, this is the thin one. To not go one and I want to expand it, like I was mentioning, can I to next one to make it wilder, I start from here, but it's bigger now. And then if I want to make it even bigger, I start from here and I go again bigger. Would this
Yes, but you have to realize you go from gravitational to magnetical when you do this.
I changed. But if I'm keep using the same,
No, go back to the pictures you put down. Go back to the pictures you put down, yeah?
Or make smaller.
You make it, and then you make a bigger one which goes over the smaller one, yeah? Up to the point where you put the pen down for the bigger, you are magnetical. The part which is inside the bigger one now is gravitational. You understand?
If I point the pin.
Yeah.
So I point the pin, then it's goes. It will not change the.
Doesn't matter. Now
or
the field.
Pin another one as well.
Yeah. So the way you're showing it, you're mixing magnetical into gravitational.
So how I can do it to not mix it?
Conversion. Yeah. Mix it.
Because I don't want example, if you getting the magnetical out, so it will go inside to another one in.
Okay, you can mix it, you can keep it separate, okay? Either way, when you do a physical separation, it's a different way. When you up to the point of the small one, you are magnetical. The minute you put the bigger spring over the smallest spring, the smallest spring is not magnetical anymore, it becomes gravitational in respect to the bigger spring. And the bigger spring becomes magnetical. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Then you don't have the separation of the fields. This is very dangerous if you lose control.
Yeah, that's why I thought that then better to make one long.
In a way, but you have to know, we show new technology, new systems. We are working with in the background, in the teachings. I can bring you into that group where with a few of us, 3-4 of us, we work. You can come into there to understand it. We don't release that yet because it's not used properly as part of the weapon technology, which we haven't achieved world peace, and we are not prepared to release it because then it can be abused. This is the amplification of the magnetic field. And this application can be extremely dangerous.
All right. I invite you in Skype. You didn't accept me yet.
I don't know your name. Don't give me your name. I'm traveling past week. I'm not from my fixed base. We are organizing a lot of things. We are meeting with a lot of different group of people and development of the technology. There is a lot of work to be done in the diplomatic section. We are too far from Rome. When I come to Rome, most of my time spent with the diplomatic corps and the political system, because here we are in the center of them. And a lot of them will have made arrangements for us to meet and to organize things. We work heavily in the background with this, so I don't carry all my tools with me. Whatever we can facilitate, we carry with us.
So there is another unit what I was working on for the car. by using the same spiral, which like makes the magnetical going inside. In the middle there is this Gans, dry Gans ball, and then it goes back to on gravitational, which will be connected to another part of the battery for car. Would this be useful?
You're putting two storage fields on top of each other. Because the battery itself is the storage for Gans.
Okay, so this is useless at this point, yeah?
No, nothing is useless. You just add to the power of the system.
Yeah, this was the
You're delivering directly plasma to the point of the interaction. It's beautiful the way you make your spring. You expand it bigger and bigger as you go from the center out. Yeah, I can see what you're doing.
So there was this middle part which I was making, so we try to show how it looks, the control panel.
Yeah.
So then there was another, I was working on some...
See, the thing is, there is a, which one is your gravitational? Is the red your gravitational or the green?
I keep confusing by the names. So the green one is magnetical and red is gravitational.
So the picture you just showed us is totally gravitational. It means your car would never lift. Sorry about that. If you go back to your picture, the way you're just showing us that you
the
built,
battery, yeah.
Yeah, this one. No, the next one.
This one.
The next, yeah, number 65.
65. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look, your gravitational is free, which means the system will absorb more energy from the environment. Where your green, which is magnetical, is shorter. You understand?
No, they are equal. They are equal on the both ends. I was showing here from the pins.
No. They are not equal. They are not equal. They are not equal. You will come to understand the way I look at it. They are not equal because even though you made the yin and yang, you still have the field forces of gravity being stronger than magnetical, because gravitational is always stronger. To you it looks equal, but to me gravitational, you see, physically you drawn the picture, but you have to look at the work of the plasma.
Yes.
The plasma in equal in matter level, it means gravitational is always stronger.
All right, it makes sense. Yeah. I was working, like I'm making these things also to like apply like health units, and I was thinking if you make it equal, so basically you can point to the part of the body which is ill or had pain or something, and to the body can absorb the magnetic gravitational field which is missing.
Good morning. Congratulations.
Thank you. So and then I was making few type of units which how they could look. So I was trying to make like we have 7 chakras. So the 7.
Can you bring this up on Thursday? This side was.
I will.
Yeah, because you're on the right track, and I'll add to the knowledge.
Okay. So what I want to share from the last time, I made it on the fruit from the berry. There is some background noise somewhere.
Yeah, it's mine.
Okay. So this is the berry inside. I covered with gel. So basically we can use very, very small, like that, very small reactors, which is already nano-coated because of how the berry is created, but by itself. This is red current. So if someone wants to still use the motors, you can find on the internet quite powerful, these small ones. So to make very small.
The thing is, now what we do, we use
moving away.
different fields.
Then another thing what I last time I mentioned about this shower of life. So also when it goes through, it can extract some fields out which you don't want, and maybe you put some Gans structure, which is like condition, like water example condition with.
Bring this on Thursday, please.
Okay,
what is to do with the energy side? That's what we are dealing with.
All right. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next 5 weeks is allocated to health. Anyone who wants to speak what they've done, they can come online. I've asked Rick to make facilities that this can be done. That you can explain what we call attestation, what you done and what you have seen. And as I said, we most probably will have with us the doctor who has been through the Keshe Foundation with a cancer reversal after the operation. That as a doctor, as a doctor dentist, and his son as a doctor being explain how the system has worked. That what's the terminology they use? Personal. It's not called attestation. There's a word for it. Skips my mind. Testimony, yes. We need you to bring your testimonials to the teachings on Thursday on. We allow you to explain, to write your testimonial on site. If you want to explain it, we allow you to do. Because like Renan has doing it, nobody can stop anyone to test what they want with their system in their own home. You're building it yourself. We are not teaching you. The teachings are there. You start using it. At least this way we bring it on the one roof that everybody's understand what is happening and how it's done.
And to be clear, Mr. Keshe, you were saying that this is for people that are using the Gans or nano-materials, but not in or on the body, but using it in a once removed kind of way. Is that what you mean?
Yes, like your Renan has done. You put in a plastic cover.
Right.
That the nanomaterial don't transfer, but the energy is transferred if it's needed. Because then the body decides. I'll explain this very clearly in the teachings on Thursday.
Great.
There is a big difference. We go through it in that phase.
I have one question about the twisting the wires. I didn't remove now the cover from the plastic cover. And I remember you were saying like don't remove because in this way the nano copper will be edged from the plastic, the carbon, so it will be stronger. It's works like that for this reactor.
Yes, I've done that. I've done that. Thank you very much for bringing this on.
Okay,
if you go back on the teaching with the Coca-Cola bottle, all the pictures of the Coca-Cola bottle, where I showed you can nano coat, leave the wire in the cola bottle to nano coat internally. You don't need to cover the wire again. It's already covered. You understand?
yes.
And use the section of the wire which is outside the Coca-Cola bottle, not the inside, because inside cover is already nano coated. So when you build, when you make wires to be nano coated, if you like, just make a hole in a Coca-Cola bottle, seal it, put a caustic in it, and then take the wires out. The fastest is 15 centimeter, does very well. Then at the end of the wires, just connect with the ammeter, voltmeter, different wires together. Just touch it, that you show the direction of the flow you want the plasma to move. Leave it for 2 or 3 days. Your wires gets perfectly nano-coated, and at the same time you have a covered system. You don't need to go and find a place to cover it. The wires, I've used this a lot in my research in health, and it works perfectly. So that's a tip for Thursday.
But in my case, like the length of the wire is about 30 meters to twist it in this way to make around this big circle. It's still on
Yeah. You depends how a strong plasma you put to it. When you have a very long wires like you are using with a cover, connect your coil, the one you just showed, the gravitational magnetical, to the wire. It'll get nano coated in no time. You will see after a week or so, the whole 30 meter at the end will be black if you do it the right way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you don't need to do. There we use the plasma of the Gans to go through the wires in the Coca-Cola bottle. Here you use the full plasma directly. The energy which you're putting through to nano coat the, let's say, to use to run a battery or to run a motor or to run a computer, That energy flows in the wire and makes the wire black. We've seen it. We took, Arman has taken a picture of it. It's so powerful, it's better than using electric current or caustic. Energy of the plasma to nano-coat the wire is the ultimate goal, and we have achieved it in the lab. I think if Arman is online and is got this camera, can show it to us.
Okay.
Okay, so now you learn a new way to nano-coat using plasma.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
For me, no.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for sharing knowledge with us.
Hi, Mr. Keshe. There's a question from Tyler in the live stream. He's been quite persistent. He would like to know, what is the electric current I feel all over my body that runs up my spine to my brain?
I don't know. I'm not in your body.
I thought you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Don't forget, we all, as I say, we are humans. We got 10 fingers and 10 toes and 2 eyes. But in fact, we are totally different from each other in operation of the emotion and the field flow.
Yeah, I think it's probably common that many people feel these energy flows in their body, maybe more so than in the past even. It might be part of, do you think it might be part of a general transformation that's going on in the planet? These energies are coming through and people are becoming more sensitive?
We always done. All of us have been sensitive to different fields.
Right.
So it's not new and it won't be, what I call, it's no use hyping things up because of this and that.
Tyler,
the reality is to be done the right way.
Tyler was concerned, is it okay to do, he wants to know if it's good or bad. But you can't judge because you're not in his body.
I'm not in his body.
So there was other advice given to him that from other people in the chat. So I think he'll be able to get something out of that.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? I have to be in an embassy in about 45 minutes.
Okay.
So
well, we should probably, let me see.
Are there any other questions? But please come back on Thursday. If you have done any trials, let us know. We give the floor to you to decide the future of the health for mankind. Our ancestors did it with herbs. Now we go a step further, controlling the herbs. We are not doing anything else than what is done by the planet.
All right. Well, we should probably let you go, Mr. Keshe. I don't know if there's any other burning questions here. It's.
I've seen a question there.
In where?
No WO asks, how can we dispose of Gans? I put CO2 Gans in.
How what?
Rusted inside.
How what?
How can we dispose of Gans?
You can't dispose of Gans. Your body is Gans. How do you dispose of yourself? Gans cannot be disposed of. You can convert it to another energy plasma level.
He says he put the CO2 Gans in a steel tin and it rusted inside. That was his problem with it.
Yeah, this is the problem in sun, what energy is given to the tank. This is what we said with the gas tanks in the cars, has to be careful. It depends what energy the material takes, what is the composition of it in respect to CO2.
He means dispose of it safely as it's been contaminated.
You can't dispose it. You can convert it, then it's disposed of. It's a use of the language. You don't dispose of it. It's the time of disposal is finished. You convert it to what you want, and if in that state you're happy with, it'll be there. The CO2, some people add vinegar, some people add acid, some people create another plasma. If you put, let me tell you, I explained and I go because I have to leave. If you put your CO2 in the center of the ball, as it was shown by our friends in Malta, and you create a gravitational magnetic field flow, you find out the matter in CO2 changes to another material. because the gravitational magnetic field received is there. What will be interesting for you to watch if you manage to make such a ball to understand the state of the plasma strength. You'll see the color of the ball changing continuously as it receives different magnetic gravitational field. That ball in the center, as we saw with our friends from Malta, as I explained, you can do this, putting Gans inside. You will see the Gans color changes because of the energies received. Then you don't dispose of it, you transfer it to or transform it to a new material with different energy level. These are still a lot of teaching to come yet, you will see. You cannot dispose. Dispose is habit of the man. You convert to another energy. Anything else?
I think we should let you go. That's for sure.
Please, I have to go. I have a
Absolutely.
important thing I have to do. Otherwise, I have to stay in Rome one more day, and I don't have time for that.
No.
Thank you very much indeed. We speak on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very
Keshe.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye bye.